Alright, the first thing that I usually do is I remove any old polish, and these are just some cotton cosmetic pads. If you have any aversion to cotton, and some people do, you can try a tissue of any sort. This is a non-acetone nail polish remover. I don't really have a preference. It's just this seems to be a little gentler, or at least I think it is. So I'm just tilting the bottle up and dabbing on this a little bit, and you may need more than one go at it, one of these pads, but I think I can probably do it with just this one. And I'm just actually, one of the best things I know to do is lay it on there and squeeze a little bit, and do that with each one, and it can begin working before you start rubbing it off. And as I rub it off, I'm stroking over the fingernail, and I'm taking my own fingernail and pushing it into here and going into the sides and the back. And I'll do that on each fingernail, going off into the sides, the back. And after I've kind of primed these in the first place, by dabbing it on there, the polish comes off much easier. And I just had clear polish on there. Now, my fingernails have always grown pretty well. I had a little trouble at one point, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I don't know if you can hear. It's you kind of get this very clean sound on there. You can turn it over and touch up any spots. So looks like they're pretty clean. And I'm going to throw this away. Okay, I'll put this up here. The next thing I do is I have a couple of clippers and a couple of files. This is a large clipper, usually used for toenails. It's just what I had laying here. I'm not very particular about it. I guess this one is shorter, and I won't, want to keep these longer ones just to keep them, because to me it looks odd, and I kind of like them even. So what I'm going to do is I have a snag here, and I'm going to start where this snag is, and it's right down next to the cuticle here, and I'm just going to clip it so that there's nothing left. And I'm tilting my clippers up high so that I'm not going straight across like that or anything. I'm just kind of getting hold where the snag is. I've tried to file it off, and it's gotten very thin on that side. So you can see that's my cut right there. So I'll go ahead and take this up to the top, and I'm gonna cover it with my hand as much as possible so it doesn't fly. And there it is, and I'll throw that away. Okay, I got an odd looking fingernail here, and what I want to do is kind of get it to the length of that one. So there's no more snag here. I've just cut that off, and I'm just gonna go ahead and come back over here and go so that it's a similar length to that one. I can have it a little bit longer, it looks like, and I'm just gonna clip in increments. Oops, see, I should have covered it. Alright, and it's a similar length now. I'm going to go ahead and take these two down too, so that they're similar. And this is my left hand, and I don't know why, but I'm right-handed, but I tend to use my left hand more with things that take strength and stuff. So I tend to break nails in my left hand more often. With fine detail work, I tend to use my right hand more. A little bit ambidextrous, but again, I just want to take these down to a similar length, so that it doesn't look like I've got just one out there that I'm holding on to for dear life. So, and in increments again, just a piece, and I'm not covering so much so that you can see I'll put my finger over it. Oops, there it went. And throw them away. Alright. That's a little longer. I feel like it's okay. I'm going to take this one off. And again, going at the side. And I used to wear a lot of bright reds, and I used to wear a lot of coppers and stuff when I was young. I just don't do it anymore. This one is already kind of that same length, so they're fairly uniform. And, you know, again, this hand's a lot longer, so I'm going to go ahead and take that one down too. And see, I just start here, and I kind of look for any places where it might be thin on the side or have a little, if there's any kind of a snag, I'll just start, there's one, starts right there. And I'll just start there, so I make sure that I'm getting rid of all those so they don't hang up on blankets or my hair later and, you know, just turn into a bigger mess. And it helps to go from one side and then from the other side. And again, I got hold of it, I'm going to cover it, and there it clipped off. And I got it. Okay. So I'm gonna round that off a little bit with my clippers, and I'll get after these with a fingernail file in a little bit. And I said I've always had pretty long fingernails, and different times they've grown a lot longer, but I've been doing my hair oiling, and I think that the oil may be benefiting my fingernails while I do it. Whoops, I lost one. I'll have to pick that up later. But I think that the oil may be nourishing my fingernails. Certainly the cuticles and skin around. So, see, I can take that little corner off right there. Like I said, normally I would cover this with my hand as close as I could. It's difficult, but and let me cover it. That didn't fly away. Okay, I'm going to take that little corner off here. That one's a little shorter, but let me go ahead. I see I filed it, and it's kind of come more to a point, so I'm going to take just that part of it off. It'll just look better, and it'll be a stronger nail overall. And okay, I'm going to check my thumb. It's a little long, and I'm going to go ahead and take that down a little bit. And I come to the other side. And I'm just doing this again in small increments. There's a little bit there. Okay, throw that away. Now I smooth the edges with a couple of different things. I have a file here. This is a Revlon finishing file. It's very fine, and I also have I keep these that are, I think these came from a 99-cent store, but they're these little pink emery boards, and they're cushioned, and they're fine grit too. And I have one of them out there, and I'll start with this, and I'll finish with this one. I also have another file. I like the metal tip on this one. I have a use for that. So anyway, what I do with the nail is I will start from one side, and I'm going to go up and over to the center, and I'll do it on the edge, and I'll do it under the edge, because if I only do it on the edge, I'm going to push little snags, whatever, underneath here, and so if I come under here, I get them. So again, I'm going to come over here and come up toward this edge, and I will take it sometimes right across the top, and a lot of times I just, you know, felt it to see if there's any snags. There's not. A lot of times I'll take this and go just under the edge and push it out and see if I've got any snags. You know, I just do that and see if there's any, and there's nothing there right now, but there is a lot of the time. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up. And if you have a very rough file, you have to be really careful at how fast you go. I go a little back and forth here and there, but on average I'm not going this way. I'm going this way most of the time. So and I'm going right on the edge, a little bit on the top. Then I'll come underneath and come and file that nail and feel it with my other fingers. And I'm going to finish doing that with this file. And then what I do is I'll come back with this one. I'll feel again if there's anything even slightly rough. I will buff that out. Also on top of the nail, I can use this very thin one and gently rub in circles over the nail to get any stains off. And be careful you don't, if you have, don't use a heavier grit, because you can go through your own nail. If you start to feel any heat whatsoever, back off. You're coming through your nail. So that's how I do that. Again, I'm just going over the nail and in circular motions. I'm doing that, and cleans up the top of the nail nicely. I'm going to tell you why I have a file that is metal top. This one says made in Korea, and they're stainless. These are harder and harder to find. Right now they have these sort of nail scoops that I don't even think I have one, but they go under the nail and they're very narrow, and they're to clean under your nails. And I find that they leave a gouge under my nail very easily, and they don't fit the natural curve of my nail. I used to have one that was rounded here, and it did even better. But what I do is I will go under the nail with this, and I've got, you know, the edge. Usually there's a sharper side and a dull side, and I've got the sharp side, and I will put it against the nail, and I'm scraping around like this. And this isn't to get anything out from under my nails. What it is I'm buffing the underside of my nail with this. And what it does is help take off the stains from under your nails. And this is from washing dishes, you know, different things that you've had your hands in can color your nails. So that's what this one is for. I'm going to finish up doing that, and I'll be back. Alright, I've clipped and filed, and I've used my little very fine emery board, and I've gone around the edges, and I've done my little circles on top. There's a heavier side and a softer side, and I do whichever side, always ending up with the softer one. And I'm just going very gently on there to the point that I feel hardly anything on this hand. I know certainly no heat. It will build, the friction will build up heat, and it'll begin to go through the nail if you're not careful. And mine aren't real thin, but some folks are. The next thing I want to show you is a cuticle, little cuticle gouge remover. This is by Revlon as well, and I don't really love these things. I don't remove my cuticles, but if there is a little piece that's sticking up or something, there's a piece here, and what I'm going to do is pull this back, and that makes it stand up a little bit more. And there, I'm doing it. I'm just going to aim it toward myself. This goes away from your nail. It would, if I were this way, it would go away from me this way, but this is easier. So I'm taking this skin and pulling it back, and I get this as parallel to my finger as possible. I don't want to do this, and I don't want to push hard at all. What I'm going to do is lay it on there and then feel it catch, and if anything, I'm coming more up than down, because you don't want to gouge your skin or the fingernail. I'm just taking off a tiny bit of dry skin, and I'll feel it pushing back on it. Pull that skin back, and I've got it. It's gone. So all I did was just do that. And I'm checking my nails to see if there are any others. And let's see. Again, here there's a small one. And I'm taking this and pulling the skin back. And you probably won't even see. I'm just going to lay this on here, and if anything, like again, when I push, I'm pushing and coming up more than I am going down. It's just the tiniest little bit of skin. And the only thing I'm doing is getting rid of that so that it doesn't get bumped and torn and sore and peel back into my finger. There's a little bit here, and you won't be able to see it. I'm just going to nick it there. And I believe that's all for that. I have a gel cuticle remover. This is instant cuticle remover from Sally Hansen. Dissolves dry cuticles in 15 seconds. And what I do with this, I've had this forever, it just lasts so long, is it has a good little nozzle on it, and it has kind of a cool sensation when you put it on. And I just put a drop there and go around my cuticle. And I'll put a drop under here and just rub it back and forth. And I know a lot of people don't do that, but I do. And I don't want to get rid of my cuticles. They're healthy. What I'm using this for is it softens them so much that I can push them back. And besides the cuticle that, you know, is readily seen, some will sometimes grow up onto the fingernail, and this will help loosen that back. And I can push it back. So here's my little drop, and putting it on here. And this also helps loosen up any thing that's under the fingernail, and it'll help get rid of some more stains. And just go around each of them pretty quickly. And okay, and what we do is we leave this for 1 minute, and then I will show you what I do next.